In other news here, Justin, we had what I referred to earlier as kind of a mid-major trade. Someone who has been in trade rumors, feels like since I've been born, but no, not quite that long, but at least the past 2 seasons, D'Angelo Russell has been rumored to be on the trading block, and he's an expiring deal this season, 18 million on his contract, and finally he is dealt back to the Brooklyn Nets, who he has been a part of before in the past, and he was dealt primarily for Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a 3-and-D guy. You all might remember he played for Dallas for a bit before he was moved to the Brooklyn Nets. So I think, Justin, I guess first, and of course there were more pieces in that trade. Shake Milton was also sent to the Lakers. Name escapes me. One more player from the Lakers, as well as 2 second-round picks, which I think actually was the big piece of this trade as far as the Nets are concerned. But how do you like this trade, and what are your thoughts on this? Is this any sort of sign of other things to come?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think everybody's kind of trying to wish for a move that's not going to happen. I think it's a lot of a media creation in terms of what I've been seeing in regards to like LeBron's being traded or Jimmy Butler's being traded. I think a lot. I don't know. I just think a lot of those a bit. I think the Butler's things, it seems to be that seems from Shams reporting that seems to have some more meat on it. But with LeBron, I think it's ridiculous. From what I have seen, just through reading some of the blogs out there, it seems like D'Angelo Russell and JJ Redick didn't get along. And not only that, with JJ didn't appreciate D'Angelo's effort on the defensive end. So that probably led to this trade. So, I don't have too many thoughts in terms of like if this is going to have an immediate effect. I like D'Angelo Russell. I think he underrated player in the league, and I think he'll help Brooklyn. But, other than that, I don't think this is a sign of the Lakers trying to make a move here. I think JJ's pretty linked to LeBron, and I think, honestly, seeing how everything's playing out, my prediction is LeBron retires as a Laker. I just think it's too much work for him to request a trade and uproot his life, to play for like 5 more years. I mean, seems like his home is in Los Angeles, and, he's a Laker for now. I just don't see that. He just wants to, sign a one-day contract with the Cavaliers to retire as a Cavalier. But I don't see that as a big move to come, but we'll see. But it seems like there's definitely friction between D'Angelo Russell and JJ Redick.
Yeah, let me expand on that a little bit more, because it looks like what the Nets are trying to do right now is a fire sale. So a couple things that could come out of this. I think I would almost guarantee that D'Angelo Russell is bought out, because the Nets don't want to win any more games. They're trying to, I think, go into full tank mode.
Makes sense.
Because they traded Dennis Schroeder, and now they're doing this with Dorian Finney-Smith, who I think, I'll just quickly say, is a nice fit on this Lakers roster. Gives them that 3-and-D wing presence that I think can be really, really helpful for them. He's not a star player, but one of those guys that can be another solid contributor for a fairly deep Lakers roster. I think this signifies on the Nets side that we may see Cam Thomas traded before the deadline hits. There's still a lot of time before that happens. So if he's not in their future plans, they may get off of him as well to try to get some more assets, maybe a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks for him, since he is a capable scorer, and pretty much that's the primary thing that he does. From the Lakers side, again, I like the fit for Dorian Finney-Smith coming in on this roster, helps them out for postseason considerations. I also think this signals that unless they're willing to part with Austin Reeves, which I don't think they are, this is probably the end of talks about like Trae Young joining this roster or Jimmy Butler joining this roster, etc. You're probably now that you've moved this expiring contract that was kind of one of the pivotal pieces to be able to make a big time trade, you're probably locked in with this roster right now for the Lakers. So people are going to feel a lot of different ways about that and whether they can contend with that roster. Last thing I'll say about this, Justin, and then you can have final word if you like. I think it's interesting that a likely spot for D'Angelo Russell could be either Miami, which he has no history of, but they could use a point guard like him, or he could also go back. He's already gone back now to the Brooklyn Nets, but if he's bought out, he could very likely find himself on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who could use a point guard as well. And I think he still has kind of some good graces there where he might be able to land on that roster and help them as a contender, maybe come back closer to the level they were competing at last season.
Well, they need a boost. And I'm wondering with the Nets, I mean, looking at the record, they're 12 and 20. Are they going to be worse than the Hornets, Raptors, and Wizards? I don't know. The Nets are always kind of a scrappy team. I just can't see them just quitting and just super tanking and just being worse than those other teams. So I'm just wondering if that plan's going to work because I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be, that terrible to, land a Cooper flag or something. I don't know.
They're going to try, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're going to drag for flag if we're calling it that. they're gonna tank.
In the words of Shaq, put that on a T-shirt.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I think sorry to the Nets fans out there. I think the basketball product is about to get significantly worse there. But, we'll see. I mean, I guess if they hold on to D'Angelo for the rest of the season, I can't really see that with him being an expiring. But they're going to, I think, shop him and see what the interest is in him as an expiring contract. And, for the Nets' sake, hopefully they can get some more assets for him if they try to flip him.